Some interesting research out today, your organisation, that suggests there's a rise in the number of prosecutions brought against children and young people for cannabis, but a fall in prosecutions brought against adults. What do you read into that then?
Yeah, so the findings you're talking about, that's being released as part of a report which is looking at how effectively UK cannabis policies are safeguarding young people, they're protecting them from harm. And what we found is that they're failing. They're failing to do that. They're failing to prevent young people from becoming involved in the illicit cannabis market as users or dealers of cannabis. So some surprising findings were that, yes, we've seen a rise in young people being prosecuted and convicted for dealing cannabis, and a fall in adults being prosecuted and convicted for dealing cannabis. And we don't make the case this is due to the police actively criminalising young people, because there's not the resources and there's not the desire to do that. The police. So
what is going on then? What do you think?
The case we make is that young people are increasingly seeing dealing as a viable option, as a way to make money. And this is all facilitated by social media. So we spoke to some young people and they said that social media platforms have made it easier to interact and to facilitate dealing. And there's
so children, primary school children or secondary school children are selling cannabis on Instagram and Snapchat.
Yes, so there will be younger people, but our research suggests it's more likely young people in transitional periods of their life. So 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, they're going into college, they're leaving care, they're at a vulnerable time in their lives. And for us, these findings are really worrying.
Are you saying they shouldn't be arrested then for selling cannabis?
The case we make is that at the very least, let's not give young people a criminal record, because we know the devastating impact this can have on their lives and their well-being in the future. But we also say, let's be ambitious. Let's say, if our position should be, well, it's not acceptable for young people to be dealing cannabis and to have access to cannabis. We should be restricting young people's access. And in Canada, what's going on is Trudeau is introducing a child-centred policy that has been explicitly made on the grounds of we should be restricting young people's access to cannabis.
You're nodding in agreement.
Yeah, I think age checks are entirely appropriate. You don't want to have unfettered access of cannabis for children, and so the club model that we propose, you have to show valid ID, so there's no...
And just describe the club model, as you call it. How would it work in your ideal scenario?
So it's an idea from 2006 when a pan-European coalition of drug reform activists and organisations called NCOD came together with this model. It's been implemented in places like Spain. Many British tourists go to...
What is it? Describe it.
Well, so it's a place where you can go, you can consume cannabis in a socially responsible way, where the members pay a membership duty in a sense that sort of locks them into the club. They can procure cannabis of a safe, high quality, where profit isn't the main concern. It's grown by the members, for the members. And it's a very safe method of accessing cannabis away from the traditional black market and greater drug market.
But they are illegal, and there are, what, dozens across the country?
Well, in Spain they're not illegal.
No,
but
in this country,
here they are.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I suppose.
But none have ever been raided.
The thing is, that's the point: is that it's a victimless crime, and cannabis users are not violent. And